Namaste, Akka.
Namaste, namaste. And
Nice to.
my dear viewers, today in our chat, we have such a young man, but full of brilliance. Brilliance is not the word, multifaceted. Our dear Jayachandran here. I welcome you to our chat, dear Jayachandran. Why I call you multifaceted Jayachandran? Engineer, dancer, dance scholar, research scholar, and now a lecturer. Could you kindly tell us your journey, Jayachandran?
First hand, my pranams to Kalaka, as we all dearly address her. Namaste, Akka. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
And my fond namaskarams to the Tejas institution whom you're running.
Namaskaram.
In my opinion, that itself is a yeoman job for anyone who's working that and creating an institute and propagating, actually sharing, and the experience is also shared with each other. And most of us have been witness to your work. Thank you, Akka. And I welcome all the audience there. Thank you for joining us. More than anything, I feel, honestly, that I feel it's not in a generic sense as honor. I would rather say to interview a youngster, people like Kalaka, contacting and say, want to discuss.
Jayachandran, let me tell you something. I wouldn't call this as an interview. I would call it as an interactive session, and your brilliance should be known to the online viewers also. So I'm so happy that I'm able to have the interactive chat with you, Ma.
Thank you. In the sense of to kind of pick up a chat with a youngster who's kind of thinking and ruminating in their own sense.
But what about your brains? What about your brains? That's not a youngster.
I know. So kind of you, Akka. I completely acknowledge. Because for the simple reason, if you happen to say about me, there could be something. But in my opinion, if you're speaking about someone's thinking, there is a saying, no? It takes a village to grow a child.
Correct.
It's a very modern enigma that two people can somehow bring up a child. No, it's impossible. Within a closed apartment, it's difficult. And, we all of us know, because the two brains, the mother and the father, has to be the Newton and the Isaac Newton, the Einstein, and, be everything, all of it and end of it.
Wow.
But I somehow feel I was born in 78. I'm a 78 born kid. So 80s kid, basically. So as they call today, there's a thing, no? Either you want to do a 2K kid or a 90s kid. So I'm an 80s kid for everyone. What's so peculiar about that is that everyone, like I'm sure at your age, it was not so. People like you all were fostered by everyone.
No, yeah, not only that, we are a literary guru for us to lead us in the literary side, because without any research work, we dancers cannot even produce even a amalgam, even a present amalgam. We need the meanings and everything to it. So we had Sri T.S. Parthasarathy Mama, the then musicologist. Yes.
We all of us know him, the renowned musicologist, who was one of the leading top-notch member in the academy, even like in his days, and what kind of he was a torchbearer and a guiding light for many people who were lurking in the dark. And more than anything, I'm sure I remember people, though I've never interacted with a giant, but I've heard great the dancers of the previous generation and the seniors saying he was a very warm person more than his scholarship.
Very nice, very real. At any time we could even call and get the information from him. Although we do either any language, Tamil or Telugu or Kannada, or a Malayalam, or even a Hindi bhajan, because certain things we may not know the correct word to meaning. So in that way, we are very happy that you are here for us. So you must tell about your journey, your yatra to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, as you say that, I come from I come from a Telugu-speaking family. My mother tongue is Telugu, but we all know Telugu people are throughout Tamil Nadu. They settled, centuries before. Especially, we belong to the Nayakas descent, and
Yes.
there's a lineage like that, and so we can find Telugu people till Kanyakumari. That's there, of course.
Very true.
So I belong to that old, one of the old Georgetown settled Telugu Naidus. So that's very interesting. We belong to a village which is in outskirts of Madras.
Okay.
Now, in search of education, as most of us moved to the city, our family also moved to the city in search of better life and prospect.
True, true.
Actually, it seems I started dancing at the age of 3 for my school, when I was something like a spur of a moment. And I had to say this, it's a very strange coincidence. The first song I danced ever is your ringtone. Nada Vinodangal Nadana Sandoshangal. It's so strange. That's, it's strange coincidence. That my school principal saw this, and they invited my parents to say he should be put into a dance school. But it never in the family that no one danced before. But it was. There is some kind of semblance of music in the family, little here and there, but not dance though. So they somehow, joined me in a school. What my school principal directed me, and she was Srimati Meera Narayanan, my first teacher in Perambur. And till the age of, I was still my 5th standard, 6th standard, I was learning under her. Then I moved to another school where I learned under Sri Gopinathan, who's a student of a Kalakshetra student, and he is now in Thiruvanmiyur, and he is a teacher in his own rights, a choreographer, composer in his own rights. And after that, my education took me to Salem Government College of Engineering, Salem. So I did my electronics there. But it's something
a Telugu-speaking boy, born and brought up in Chennai, and an engineer, and going to Salem to do.
Wow.
And a dancer. Please continue your interest in yatra. Yeah.
Something what happened in Salem is absolutely my college had no dancers, in the sense per se no classical dancers. Well, I was the apple of the eye for everyone. So come a program, they used to make me dance, and I had to give it to my professors, like being from one of the serious electronics department, they allowed me to dance, and they allowed me to do group works and whatever and it was a spur of a moment that during my college days, heydays, I could say that we used to go to competitions with my group and small tiny college group, and wherever we go,
very nice.
We had good fun, I would say. Good fun, absolute fun.
The competition will really ingrain in you the spirit of participation, which that itself is a winner. So you will be a very sportive person, according to me. I mean, that's what
truly.
Yes.
Sportive, absolutely. You rightly used the word, right? Kind of. It made us very sportive, like, yes. And we were, more than anything, we were enjoying it. Like, there was a time. And by my end of my 4th year, I got campus selected. In Wipro, I got a job in Wipro, and Wipro job took me to Delhi.
Oh my God! No, the capital. Okay.
Yes, I should say this. Capital. Interestingly, by then there's another person who have already joined my life in a very serious note. There is Dr. Bhaktavasan, who is my scout teacher in my school days.
Okay.
He made me, he's a very personal, kind of a trainer for us. And he was the dean in the Keelpok Medical College Orthopedics Department. And he was also the district commissioner for West Medar District Scouts.
Ooh, wow.
To say that he groomed me personally is not an exaggeration.
That's nice.
So, And another person, my parents were very supportive throughout my endeavors. They were very, very supportive. My sister, my family.
I feel, Jayachandran, family plays an important role. Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes.
And interestingly, my grandmother was a big inspiration for me. Like, she was a big guiding light for all of us in the family. And she encouraged whatever I did as a person. Like, she would just say, yes, you have to do it, kind of like, though she didn't want to know the details of it, she would always say, yes, you have to do it, kind of. And she kind of pushed, no, it's not just pushing, but supportive, very supportive.
Motivating you.
Motivating.
Yeah,
And when
she would have tapped your brains at that time, grandmother, no? So a
yes.
will know that this particular grandchild is definitely intelligent when we have to push. Nothing wrong in getting the push. That is our motivation.
Truly, Akka. I interestingly, when I was working in Wipro Delhi, I had to say this. A strange thing happened. One day I was just browsing through the internet and I saw the name Leela Sampson there. There was a phone number there. I just picked up a phone next to me and I called. It was Leela on the other end. It was strange actually. Over a phone, I still remember the first conversation with her. I addressed her with the first name Leela. It was so corporate in nature. Leela, can I join your class? If I think of this now, I keep rolling on the ground. I know.
Dance language.
Yes, absolutely. I can't even remember. See, I can't even think about it now, but it happened. Like, I walked into, she so graciously said, yeah, you just come, we can have a chat.
How sweet.
I remember the day when I walked in on a November evening. It was a cutting cold evening in Delhi, in Asiad Village.
Yeah.
Delhi, Asiad Village. And I remember wearing a formal shirt and a pant and a belt and a laptop and a tie and everything and entering into her. Yes, and she said, can you dance? I said, I still remember the day I just removed my shoes and danced with shirt and pant and belt in front of her. Immediately she agreed and after that, I was under her for 1.5 years. She introduced me to many things in Delhi. Like, she taught me from the scratch, and I had to undergo everything back. To me, I would honestly say that she's the person who at least told me there is a text called Abhinaya Darpanam. At the age of 21, I came to know about it, rather. So after that, I got a transfer to Bangalore, Wipro, head office Sarjapur. There I stayed for a few months. Then I got transferred to Chennai Wipro. Back to Chennai, back to Pavilion. I was under Professor C.V. Chandrasekhar, CVC sir.
Fantastic.
And Jayachandran. And
what you asked for.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're all legends. Okay.
Legends. But something strange about CVC sir is that before I left for engineering from Madras to Salem, I actually walked into his home and said, sir, can you teach me dance?
Okay.
Before my engineering days, I had to say this.
Yes.
He said, you better finish your engineering and come back.
Oh.
So I kind of, I thought he would have forgotten about it when first time I met him after so many years.
But he remembered.
He exactly remembered and said, you came back, good. And I was actually shocked.
Excellent. Now it is.
After that, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. In fact, like, it's so interesting that after that, Leela became the director of Kalakshetra. She came down from leaving Delhi to Chennai.
Excellent.
She joined us in her own capacity. What's interesting is that I requested Leela, can I join Kalakshetra? Because by the time I understood corporate world is not the world which I can, yes, especially me.
Should have told you that you're suited only for this. Correct.
Yes. So I kind of joined Kalakshetra in the capacity of being the head for research and documentation department, so that I can help them in their computers and in archiving, the museum material and archive material of Kalakshetra.
That's a very important work. And she has chosen, I think, the right person to do it. Very nice.
I believe so.
Responsible, very, very much.
Very responsible, absolutely responsible. But what happened after me joining Kalakshetra is like, I suddenly felt, and I was in I fondly remember that there were two bureaus, two full cupboards,
Okay.
and a key was given to me. You have to take care of this two cupboards.
So you didn't know what
I
was
then
inside.
I will never. Then a person came and they opened it and showed me, and these are the material you have to take care.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what is in that material is something very strange. The handwritten notes of Rukmini Devi
My.
from the day one of her dance class.
Can you believe I'm having goosebumps when you're saying this? You
I
are
had to
so
say
lucky.
this.
You are so
No,
lucky.
I can tell you, Akka, I can tell you, I'm so fortunate, lucky, whatever word whatever adjective.
You're blessed. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still remember her, and I still know one of the strangest thing I ever saw is her address book, a personal address book. If you flip the pages, it has addresses of who's who of the world. Can you even believe there was an address of George Bernard Shaw? And it was, I remember that address book very vividly. And they were handwritten notes, notations written by Tiger Varadacharya. Yes, and notes written by Papanashan Shivan himself, we were all there serving the Kalakshetras as faculty members.
Excellent.
And Rajaram sir's notations on Ramayanam, and Kamalarani teacher's notations on dance dramas of Kalakshetra.
Yeah.
Yes, and her own musical notations on the dance dramas, dance compositions, Peresha the teacher's notes. And I don't know, I was like, yes, absolutely.
And what exactly you felt at that time itself? You immediately wanted to do the research work, is it, Jayachandran? When you
No,
saw
actually,
all
no.
these-
No. I was first scared. First reaction was scared.
Correct, yeah. You would have been definitely scared. I understand.
For the reason, I had to say that. I'm honestly, I say this very honestly, Akka. When I entered the day one, like, I know their names, but I actually don't know who they are.
Oh.
So I was scared only about the bureau and the kind of the cupboard, and how do I do that? What do I do with mine? Was also it was a mixed feeling.
Okay.
I never knew them. I actually, those initial days, I actually never knew what Kalakshetra was. Like, I took a lot of time, and I used to work in Kalakshetra I used to enter Kalakshetra with pant and shirt with a belt, and that was a very interesting thing.
With the
It
bell.
actually, yes. I walked, to be very precise, I used to walk in with a shoe.
Okay.
Yes.
No, but that is not
And
allowed, no?
I had to say this. It took me a time that Kalakshetra is never a place no one said yes or no to anything. They gave your time. They actually gave you time.
That's nice.
Actually, I took 7 years to completely convert myself into a kurta and a dhoti.
Wow.
7 years.
This is news. Okay.
Actually, for me, and I could never go back to pant and shirt. I could never go back to pant and shirt.
Once you came to kurta.
That's it. It's over. It's over.
My
That
God.
phase of mine is over.
See, that much
And-
of involvement and dedication towards this art. Yeah.
In the sense, I would rather say a campus, a place where someone wanted to see not just something very strange happened to me being Kalakshetra was that I was reading through all the old archives material, the books, the publications. Something which struck me very strongly was actually Kalakshetra probably in my opinion is not a dance and a music institute.
Then what do you think, in your opinion?
Yeah, the founder herself says with her founding team that it was created to create better citizens.
Okay. But I have heard it has Citadel of Fine Arts. Because
In the sense,
yeah.
their modus operandi was through arts, that if you teach Indians, see, it was a time when they entered Indian system of education. I'm saying Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore actually appreciated this young woman who's coming up in South India who wants to create an institute, and they all believed that Indian was lost in an Indian. Indian was more appreciative of Keats and Yale and Mozart than Tyagaya, and they never knew who Skamban was and Kalidasa was.
My God.
And to get back the Indianness in an Indian, it is not that, yes, he has to read mathematics and everything, science is fine. But the new Indian did not know what his actual kala was.
Yes, you're right.
He
That's
was
very
more
good.
familiar with.
I did know that it was definitely to bring out good citizens and to know about yourself, the rich heritage, the rich culture within us. You're right. They did not, but I'm so happy that a divine art like this gives us the way to feel very proud of ourselves that we have. Yeah.
In fact, Gurudev said, actually, there's a quote that to get back the spine of an Indian, he needs his music back, he needs his dance back, he needs his poetry back. That's why Shantiniketan had a syllabus of music, dance, and poetry as a core syllabus in there in Shantiniketan.
I didn't know this.
And yes, it was initially that, and I still remember, Srimati Rukmini Devi fondly acknowledging Gurudev and had a lot of respect for his work. And with Dr. G.S. Arundale and Rukmini Devi themselves have met Gurudev in Kolkata, and they have been back. And Gurudev was also, interestingly, not many people know, he is the first vice president of Kalakshetra. Gurudev.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. There's a bust, and that's why we have a Tagore Hall in Kalakshetra. There's a Tagore Hall.
Yes, yes.
It's a prayer hall. It's not just a prayer hall. There's a bust there of a bronze of.
He was the vice president for a short time, is it? Short while?
Yes.
And there is a bust, yeah, a statue.
Yes, it's because of that, actually. And we know Kalakshetra was International Academy of Arts, not Kalakshetra. It was later renamed as Kalakshetra. Now, why I'm saying this much is actually Kalakshetra, yes, dance music is one. But what made me so much to wonder is that given a small amount of acre of land, one tree, one child, you can change India. You can change the world.
Beautiful.
No, I was more struck by the confidence the team had with Srimati Rukmini Devi, with Sri Shankara Menon, Dr. Padmasini and Kamala Trilokekar. And actually, if not for Rukmini Devi, Shankara Menon was not a dancer, was never a musician.
Yes, he was only
yeah, he was a great scholar, he was a great erudite man. But
yes,
what brought all them together was not to create an art institute, rather the institute to create a human being in a very different sense.
beautifully explained, Jayachandran. I think today even you have given me this knowledge of what is Kalakshetra. Thank you, and I'm sure all the viewers and the dance lovers will love to hear this from you. Yeah,
and interestingly, I had to say the word kala, they define it as education.
Oh, not as art.
No, that's why they ran a magazine called Art and Education together, synonymously. The name of the Art and Education, and they write about, because the word Kalakshetra not necessarily means art institute. It education in a very generic sense. And interestingly, if there is a Kalakshetra way of dancing, perhaps quote unquote, if there is a Kalakshetra way of singing, there is a Kalakshetra way of weaving, there's a Kalakshetra way of gardening, there's a Kalakshetra way of mathematics per se.
You're right. Till date, Kalakshetra hosts that exhibitions, right? The Kalakshetra way of.
Yes.
You're right. They do have everything. They do have.
It was. A person, a youngster like me, I was very young, I was 26 when I came to that campus, and I was reading all these things, and I suddenly I understand what serious a spot I am in the place, not necessarily about the dance or music, what kind of a place I am, and how inspiring it would be that you need not actually, I had to say that all of us know, even knowing Rukmini Devi's biography, when she learnt it from Pandanur Meenaksundaram Pillai, she never learnt it for a longer time, like it was like maybe 1.5 years to 2 years of training maximum. I'm only guessing it, but with that training, she தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னா கிள்ளி தான் கொடுத்திருக்காங்க ரொம்ப, ஆனா அவங்க அள்ளி பெருசாக்கினாங்க.
பிரமாதமா இருக்கு நீங்க சொல்றதே, ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கு கேட்கிறதுக்கு. Because I had the fortunate to meet Attai, Rukmini Attai, very long time back, and when they wanted usherers in Kalakshetra, my father was associated with them, and I met everybody, and in fact Srimati Ambika Butch And her daughter,
Huh.
Jyotsna, I'm still in touch with. And because
Huh.
my mother-in-law was a product of Kalakshetra in the school, not in the art. She is a very good
Wow,
singer,
wow,
but
wow.
not in the dance. But my
No, no,
mother-in-law,
no.
Jayachandran,
No,
is in
I have no
Kalakshetra.
doubt that the older years Kalakshetra, I'm saying about Besant school people, there is no
Yes,
dance music and all. They knew everything. You know, the
yes,
BCCH
yes.
Besant
And
schools
in fact, she
students
studied
are.
along with CBC sir, Dhananjayan sir, and all. She has met them, and she has told me also. Now let's go
No,
back to your yatra. Yeah.
and after that, we all know Kalakshetra was for its one of the primeval thing was the Varnam, the Padavarnam of Kalakshetra's core pedagogical material was the Todi Varnam in a Ragam, the Rupamujuchi, as we know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. It so happened once I had to take Kalakshetra people and they had to dance in several temples during Shivaratri. And I still remember once we had to dance in Tiruvaru temple.
Okay.
And I was not dancing. The NSING, the repertory company troupe was dancing there, and I had to accompany them. And by then, I was already studying temple architecture, temple rituals, and I was teaching that in Kalakshetra as
Very
a
nice.
faculty member.
Very nice. From where you
Yeah.
got the interest of studying the temple architecture and rituals? Is it because of when you open the cupboard with all those? Did that give you the motivation to study about the temple architecture?
Actually, to be very frank, the first motivation for me comes from, or has come from, one of my professors in my civil department engineering during my engineering days.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So
So
he
when did
kind
you
of
get
gave me
into it seriously, the studies of temple
yes.
architecture?
The second person who kind of pushed it furthermore was Leelaka.
Very nice. Very nice.
The third was certainly Chandru sir, because he used to ask certain questions. The discussions about the compositions in the class made me kind of dwell it in a very different angle. But when I came to Kalakshetra, it just opened up and say I had a lot of material in the library, and I started doing my own working and reading, and I met people in that field, and that's how I started. Also, it was part of the syllabus of Kalakshetra, and I started teaching that.
Very nice.
Interesting. What happened was like I still remember that when I was kind of going around Tiruvarur, and it was such a huge sprawling temple, and 25 acres of a temple, my God. When I was dancing, and when suddenly I remember someone tapped my back and said, there is something they are saying, and you know the meaning of it. And I said, yeah, I said something, I discussed something with this man. He said, no. He's been a very, very ardite, shy-white, or Sivaparamar இருந்தாரு.
Okay.
He told me something very strange, one information about the temple, which I didn't know about, and I'm sure not many, even the team members by then who have been dancing, we are not familiar with a fact like that. Now we go back to Chennai, and suddenly I had a thought that I had to do something about this temple. So it's brought me several times back to the temple, and based on that, I started working on the Varnam. And first time I presented it in Nardhagan Sabha Mini Hall for their monthly lecture.
Yes.
Then I presented this in the main hall of Kalakshetra, and the connection between the temple, its rituals, and the choreographic, work what Srimati Rukmini Devi has left. I only interpreted it. I never knew what her intent was, which is I just interpreted it in a given way. And for that lecture, I was given an award for the best lecture demonstration in Academy in
Natya
2009.
right? You're saying Natya
Yeah. Natyarangam, then I presented in Academy, Music Academy annual demonstration.
Fantastic. The same subject you took to present at the Academy?
At Academy, and it won me the Best Lecture Demonstration Award from Academy, Music Academy in 2009.
Lovely.
Thank you, Akka. Thank you.
Excellent. You know, when you get the recognition, it's a pat on your back, but 100% your responsibility also increases, right?
Yes. Actually true. Actually well said.
Yeah. After that, what did you do? Once you got the recognition from the Academy for your work, and then how did you start your lectures, being a lecturer?
Actually, by the time me being in Kalakshetra, and I had to surely say it is Leelaka who kind of made me introduced many artists were also coming and walking into Kalakshetra for many reasons. Certainly, yes.
Oh.
And there were people who were talking to me. For some reason, we somehow caught up, I would rather say. Chandru sir, he would say about, he would appreciate my reading, and we had to have sir would teach me Amma, Jayama. We had to lot of discussions, Leelaka, and it was Sadhanam Balakrishna Ashan who was teaching Kathakali in Kalakshetra. I used to have a lot of interaction with Ashan. I mean, like, me and Ashan and Ashan's wife, like, we used to stay next to each other in the...
Beautiful.
No. When Balakrishna Ashan, like, and we kind of had an interview, like a lot of discussions with him, and yes, it was by then.
You started helping the dancers even while working itself, is it?
Yes.
Okay. And for all the questions, will they ask you regarding the production or the mythological evidence that they will ask you?
It's mixed. It was like, for certain things will be based on their production, certain will be based on their queries, on a composition, on a varnam. I was also in a verge of searching things and many things. And something very strange is, academically, I completed my diploma in Shaiva Siddhantam in Annamalai University by then.
Oh, was it? Were you in Chidambaram or?
No. It's a correspondence through. Yeah.
Okay.
After that, I wanted to do history, so I did another UG BA history.
So what happened to you? Explode, may I know? I think you touched all the wings of the art. That's all I can say. No wonder you are such a brilliant scholar, lecturer, and now working in Triple IT in Hyderabad, right?
Yes, I'm working as a lecturer in Triple IT Hyderabad.
You tell, this is more interesting. So when you, after you did Siddha Shaivantam through the correspondence?
Annamalai. And later I did my BA History in University of Madras.
Okay.
Then I did my MA History and Heritage Management from University of, I'm saying Annamalai University.
After your name is A to Z, is it?
No, actually, I had to say, many people, history was a very interesting subject to me, and I was very much inspired by Dr. Chitra Madhavan's lectures.
Very nice.
Very inspired, and I had to say, Mr. Ramachandran, who was an archaeologist, who was an epigraphist. He used to work in the ASI or Tamil Nadu ASI department. He inspired me a lot.
Lovely.
And his daughter was a student in Kalakshetra school, but he's a great scholar. Mr. Ramachandran, who still lives in Krompet. Ramachandran sir, I used to call him. Like,
very nice.
I had to say, he is the man behind Selva Raghavan's Ayirathil Oruvan film when he wrote for Cholas. Yes, he is the man. Great scholar.
Okay.
I used to chat with him, learn a lot. Chatting is a very long word. I used to learn a lot from him. Interestingly, this particular connection made also me do MA Philosophy and MA Bharatanatyam.
My namaskarams to you, Jayachandran. My God.
No, actually, it is not for anything. I had to say this. It was, honestly, I would say doing MA was like not anything. It gave me an opportunity to read. I want to keep myself reading, and it gave me kind of a deadline. Like, I would do this. I would do this for this year. I would do this for...
See,
and interestingly...
God blessed you. That's why God blessed you.
Actually, I feel that.
Yeah. Because you didn't say that, oh, I want to do it. I mean, you were never, ever... I think you're a person who has a very good attitude. Not very... You understand me? So, I think
Truly.
that has brought you this far. Yeah, carry on.
Actually, honestly, by then, something very interesting also happened was, Leelaka brought back one of the two old teachers. By then, they were already serving Kalakshetra for many years, and they kind of took a hiatus. It was... Akka, just a minute, please.
Yes. What happened,
Yeah,
Jayachandran?
there's a charge problem. So, yeah, it's done.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it is. They took a hiatus for some time. It was Tangamani teacher, Tangamani Nagaraj, who was one of the old teachers in Kalakshetra.
Okay.
And one more, they were teachers of great eminence. They were old teachers. There were two teachers who joined us. And I would go once in a while, I would barge into the class.
Nice. Okay.
So dancing was slowly coming back because I had a lot of admin work and I had to had a lot of teaching work. Dancing was slowly back and I started dancing also. Parallelly, I was giving performances and, I started learning something.
Very good.
Bragaka, I learned under Srimati Braga Bessel because Bragaka was teaching in Kalakshetra Abhinaya.
Okay.
Yes. And I used to learn under Bragaka. Till I came to Hyderabad, I was regularly learning under Bragaka. And
very, very good tutors in your life. Okay.
I would.
And your.
I had to. Just one word I had to say. I have been under good human beings.
You're very true. That too, Professor CVC sir, starting then from Mr. Gopinathan and Palilaka, Ragabes. Oh my God, it is very true. All are good human beings.
To me, like honestly, Akka, I had to say, talent or scholarship does not attract me. Humanness attracts me to people. It is not as.
Jayachandran, I always say, yes, all the recognition is pat on our back, but at the end of the day, to prove to be a good human being carries you too long, too far.
Truly.
Really carry you.
I mean, I had to say this very strange thing. All the teachers who I've been mentioning, one of the first thing they would always ask me when I come to their classes or something is, "Yada saapudriya?" Strange people, actually strange people. Their dance. See, one thing very sure, Kalaka, that I don't know whether I'm a good student, bad student. I don't know. That's a very different question. But even now, when I enter into their portals, the first thing they ask me is, "Do you want to eat? Do you want to drink something?" Even now, it's like, I mean, like their art is something which I may not be able to even capture in this Janmam. That's different. But I always know they are great people. I can talk to them normally. And I still remember that I can talk to them. Anything happens in the world. If there's something happening in the current social world, I can talk to any one of them. I'm a person who gets disturbed by something. Like I can be very sensitive about these things. I can knock up into Lilaka and say, "Akka, something like this happened. I read in the newspaper." Chandru sir would discuss about it. Amma would discuss. Jayamma would discuss. We have discussions. Yes, of course, dance. To me, these were all dance and music, and that's what they taught me.
Very nice.
And in fact, to me, composition is only a front end. It's only just a front end. But there is a lot of back end work goes. Many back end works, nuanced back end work.
Definitely, it takes a group of people to bring out the person as a hero or heroine. It is.
I still remember meeting Rangara sir also. Oh. And whenever I talk to him, the first thing he would ask, "Do you want, I don't know, something strange." He would ask about food. "Do you want to eat something or drink something?"
You will be faced with the same question when you drop in here.
Kalaka, I know that. I know. Like, I remember, that fondly remember is that, like, after that, within all this journey, I used to go to many temples, many temples, visit many. Tanjavur was my second home, I would say. No one there, but I just keep shuttling between temples, Tanjavur area, Thiruvarur, Kumbakonam, constantly roaming around. Whenever I get a break, I used to roam around there.
Oh, wow.
I remember.
Yeah, and how did you manage to help with now that as a lecturer, how did you manage when you found time to help the dancers for their research work? I mean, for their concept, you have to give the material, right? So how did you manage to do that?
Actually, my query is...
schedule of temples, you your own work, your own everything? That's what I'm asking you.
My simple thing was like, actually, it was not another work for me at all.
Okay.
Because I was also asking the same kind of questions what they were asking.
Lovely.
And the kind of query they were searching, I was also parallelly searching somewhere in some part. I'll suddenly say, hey, I'll also join you. Wait. If they did, my problem was they should not drop me in the project because I was also joining. Actually said, wait, I am also searching for the same thing. I'll also join you. Like, it was Professor Raghuraman, and I'm sure Raghuraman sir is like another inspiration for me in my life. And the kind of chat I used to have with a scholar like him, and a very erudite scholar, all of us know him.
Yes.
Still, Raghuraman sir's invitation will also be on food.
Wow.
JC, when are you coming to eat? I know that's very, I don't know, it's strange. Many people, I would also say all my senior akkas, many of them who came together to join Prayatnam, very friendly, very discussive, very, educative, and many people, Priyaka, Priyaka.
You've been
Priya.
you've been associated with all good people. That's
Yeah, I had to say that. Priyaka is another person who kind of inspired me in many ways, and Bragaka is an inspiration. Mami inspired me. I used to visit once in a while. Great inspiring souls. As human being rather, their art is something very different.
yes.
I had to say this. I had to say that I suddenly happened to stumble upon Pandalanur Swaminatha Pillai.
Wow.
Yes, I happen to know, and I started learning under him for a quiet while and for a short duration.
Okay, Jayachandran, how did you change gurus, Jayachandran? Because you just wanted to learn that particular Bani, is it? You were interested in that? Not like that.
No, absolutely not. I'll tell you something very strange is also that what was happening was when I went to Tiruvarur, it was Sri Selva Ganapati, who's a main Adaswara Vidwan of the temple, who kind of plotted me, and there were 2-3 people in the temple who used to constantly keep chatting with me. Whenever I went, I used to say, sir, that's it. The chart will go, and Selva Ganapati sir and his son Karunanidhi and his another son Parani, they were all players in the temple, even not Karunanidhi but Parani sir. He used to invite me to, Selva Ganapati sir used to invite me home, and he used to play something very, very specific only to the temple, at times I would not call it as teaching, rather it was kind of imbibing, discussions, very strange things, very, very interesting.
Jayachandran, now in the Triple IT in Hyderabad, you're a lecturer, I know, in exactly what subjects you teach in the Triple IT in Hyderabad.
Yes. Actually, in Triple IT, I'm a lecturer in dance, and I teach dance studies here for Triple IT BTech students, rather.
Wow!
So, yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's very challenging also, in the sense, it has been 6 years since I came here. And it has been 6 years since I kind of touched Tattukari and Palagai.
I was about to ask you, in these 6 years, have you come to the season of Kirka Vande, and you're saying it's been 6 years since I touched the Tattukari and Palagai.
I had to say, in a very different sense, I'm saying this. Yeah, because many people invited me during December season, many places to give me talks, and I used to visit December very yes, year on year I come. But what I say is, what Triple IT made me do is teach quote unquote dance and dance studies without actually teaching dance as a movement.
It is very interesting, Jayachandran.
Yes.
Very intriguing also. Yeah. Okay.
Why I say that? I would take a whole 4 months actually, 3.5 to 4 months to make them even teach the first move.
Really?
Yes. because there's a lot of understanding and misunderstanding about art among many of the youngsters who come for the first year. Because I generally I teach the first year BTech students. They're age of 16, 17. All of them are IIT trained, IIT JEE rank holders.
My
They
God.
come to do, yeah, but they have a very different conception on art, and especially on classical arts, that too, and classical dancing.
Oh, general classical dancing, they do not, I mean, you take all the, whether it's Kathak, I mean, or any art classical, is it? Or,
Yeah, I would rather not teach them as one specific style.
okay,
My job is to make them introduce into that world first,
okay,
to make them friendly with the world,
okay.
so that they can start a conversation. So that they need not be so antagonistic about it. They not feel, totally turning the cards around it, turning the tables around it. It takes time to kind of make it malleable and moldable space.
Very nice.
Lot.
It is on another level, Jayachandran. What you are doing is completely in another level, you know. That I can see from your talk, because imagine BTech people, students coming to you, and you, whether it's a small group or a big group, but you have to handle them with great care, right? So
Extreme.
how much of finesse you must have in your brains for you to handle them. Hats off to you. Congratulations, Jayachandran.
My pleasure, Akka. My pleasure.
Carry on your mission excellently well. And what do you think of the youngsters? Just a last question. Since you have the youngsters, you said that they don't really know what art is, right? What the classical. So how do
They
you?
are,
No.
yes, they are waiting there to be kind of given.
Oh.
They are all with open arms.
Okay.
The plate is open,
Okay.
but what gets filled is the responsibility of the previous generation, I believe.
Yes, very, very true. Very true. You're correct. You're very correct. What you said is 100%. I really believe in it. And I wish this pandemic just flies, or God to hell, bless us, that everything comes to normalcy for us to continue everything around, whether be it art. And I just wish you, bless you, that you continue. I'm also going to become one of your students now.
My God, Akal, my pleasure. And I had to say that you told me I'm a scholar. The exact meaning for the word scholar means a student. It's a Greek word which means student. By in that sense, I am a scholar, and I wish to be a scholar throughout my life. And I think all of us are in the same,
You know something?
you
teach, you learn. When you teach
obviously.
anybody, in the process, we also learn a lot. You know that? We also learn.
Actually, Akka, I actually say this, that my professor in IIIT Hyderabad, when I joined here to do my PhD here under him, Professor Navjoti Singh, he was heading Center for Exact Humanities. It's a very peculiar center. So there, when he joined, he made us teach, so that he said you would learn by teaching, and that was our daily work. Our daily work is to teach and learn, and I completely agree with what you're saying, and I also agree the sentiment in what you're saying. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Akka.
Yes, Kanna. So thank you to join our Tejas chat. I think we should have another session with you, Jayachandran. I will definitely let you know, because with you this time is not enough for us. We definitely will call you once again, and we can take it from here itself, because it is amazing. I really, it's very nice. I don't have words to say, because you're teaching me also so many things. I learned.
My pleasure.
So your inputs are very, 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 it is really meaningful inputs that you've given. Thank you. Really, absolutely fine. And all the very best to you. Time is just running out for us. I mean, I just cannot believe this chat is just finished. I'm not able to believe it.
No, even I am so in debt. Thank you, Akka. Thank you for inviting me for a chat,
It's
and
my
thank you
pleasure.
for
Our
listening.
greatest is pleasure, and we will have you once again. Thank you, Jayachandran. All the best
My
to you.
pleasure. My
Great day.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Akka.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Akka. Bye.
Bye.